every individual that we see is unique. I believe one of the most common perceptions today is that somebody like Elon Musk of Tesla has that kind of visionary drive to create, and he, not only an electric car, but also space tourism, the SpaceX program, he invests in alternative fuels. I don't think we'll see a Steve Jobs the same way. I believe the 21st century, we'll see rise of more collaborative models. There may be many Steve Jobses working together, but another very important development globally is, of course, the rise of women excelling not only in academia and universities, but increasingly in the workspace. So there will be many Steve Jobs, and they will all be women. That's my belief. Mm-hmm. What exactly they will be called, where they will be based, I don't really know, but I think Brazil is certainly a strong contender, having globally perceived as having a unique brand of creativity, for sure. So I would be interested in looking into that in the next 10, 20 years, something like that. Well, we used to believe that social network brands were institutions. What's the future of Facebook? What's the future of Twitter? Increasingly, we can see that they act as jeans brands, right? One brand of jeans is hip for 1, maybe 2 years, and then something else comes along. And the barriers of entry to create a jeans brand and a social media platform we found are almost as low. So like you say, we had Facebook for a few, or you had Orkut here, and then Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, WhatsApp, and so on. I believe increasingly we'll see cycles of 18 to 24 months. That, I believe, is the cycle. Just like a fashion brand, a jeans brand. Most of the brands we talk about today will be gone in 10 years. Well, like I said, brick for many stands today for bloody ridiculous investment concept. I don't think there was a brick. For one, I think Russia is very different. It's an oil and gas bubble, unable to really create anything else. India has severe institutional problems, bureaucracy, corruption, has a long way to go. China, the one thing standing between China and global domination is political reform. It will happen. How dramatic it will be, we don't know. We hope it will be mild. We've never yet seen political reform in a dictatorship being mild. I'm a little bit worried. Brazil should have a clear path. If it's able to clear up some corruption, if it's able to continue this path of inequality and growth, if it's able to refrain from becoming an oil and gas industrial bubble, if it can also let in women and be less male-dominated, I believe in a few years we won't be talking about the bricks, we'll be talking about the bee. Well, the Swedish answer would be, let's do both. But if we clarify, I'd say competition is about now. Who are the competitors? How can you outcompete them? How can you give your customers what they want, Creation is about looking in a void. What don't we have? What should we have? What could be possible later on? There might not be a consumer demand. There might not be a business in it. It's only a research paper. It's only a patent. But we've seen very often that when you try to bring in something new, there's an immune system. So when you try to compete, you play along with the now, and if you do it well, you become popular and so on. But when you create, you try to challenge the immune system, undermine the status quo, so you make enemies. I'd like to keep them apart. But I find the big problem in a big part of capitalism today is far too many players and companies compete, not enough of them focus on the creation part. Don't compete with the Chinese. Don't compete with the Europeans. Don't compete with other Latin Americans. Think in terms of creation. The things that really turn global are the ones that actually probably were not so popular on the home market, but they found an audience elsewhere. We can see this in everything from DJs to apps to fashion and so on. Companies that ignored local conditions, they ignored being mired in competitive questions, and they started to look, why does the world need this, and move on.